It's always good. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm John Lee with St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association here with Lloyd Allender, and we're here for our buy, sell here, haves and wants. Lloyd, you got anything you want to say before we get going here?
Well, just a few things. Yeah, thank you for setting us up, John, and got Laura on here too. She's another board member of STLREIA. Hope everybody, if you're on our mailing list, this week you got our large postcard sent out, reminding everybody about our speaker this month, Kevin Shortell, one of the nation's leading educators on notes and how to combining notes. He does a lot of research and he's kind of forward thinking. He's not just what the note business has been. He's looking at what situations are leading up to the future. He's predicting what kind of pretty well scoping out what the future is for note investing, and going to be sharing a lot of his research with us. And so if you haven't, be sure you register for our April 19th meeting. We're going to have a free buffet for the first 50 people arriving. The first 20 are going to get his book, which I ordered last Friday, and I got it on Amazon. I got it Sunday morning on my doorstep. So I've been going through this. I'm about third of the way through so far. Pretty good reading, and looking to finish it. So I'll have an even better background for when he shows up on April 19th. And then he's also staying over to Saturday, the April 23rd, and doing an all-day seminar with us. Both events are at the Shriners Center. We got a smaller room at the Shriners for the Saturday event, but they'll both be at the Shriners Center here in St. Louis. So really looking forward to that. Okay, anybody else got anything for haves and wants? You got any properties? Anybody got any properties they want to put on the market today? Having trouble selling, or haven't even thought about selling? I got one. The more I'm reading about notes and with Kevin Shortell coming, I'm starting to make a list of questions for him, because I've got one of my lease option tenants that is they've been struggling. They didn't make their first. Weren't able to buy for their first lease option, so I renewed them, and they're doing a little better. But I'm afraid by the time this contract is up, they still may not qualify for a regular mortgage. So I'm thinking, hey, maybe I could just create a note and turn them into buyers myself, and then create a note. And if I need to cash out, because I'm not really going to be. I'm thinking about changing my strategies, not expending my rentals anymore, and maybe just turning that one into a note. Let's just start collecting, be the bank, because that's one I've had for over 25 years, and it's the loan's all paid off, and so it's one of my free and clear properties. So wouldn't hurt me to take a note back and just keep receiving a monthly payment, and not have to worry about replacing the air conditioner when it goes out, or the furnace, or replacing a roof. That's one I haven't put a roof on it for 20 years, so it's going to need a roof sometime, probably in the next 10 for sure. So anyway, yeah, I've been giving that more thought. So yeah, hoping to get some strategies from Kevin on how to create notes too. And I've done a few notes, and I think I only bought one, but I've created a few notes over the years and turned out pretty well. Yep. So anyway, anybody got anything they're looking for today? Or even if they're not looking to buy or sell something, surely somebody's looking for a service. Need a contractor to do something around their house or one of their rentals. Maybe we get your referral here. Last week we had a couple referrals of contractors. Have you got?
Yeah, Lloyd, I was looking for a contractor. I don't know if there's anybody out there. It might be a couple different things. The city said I needed to fix a couple of soffit areas where the wood is worn out or chewed through by squirrels or whatever. I've got in the siding is an old asbestos siding where it's got some cracks and they fell off. So I don't know whether I could just replace them or paint over them. I don't know what the current regulations are. And also I've got a back stairway that's concrete that's fallen apart, and actually the whole area around it is falling apart. So it looks like it either to fix the concrete on the outside and put a wooden step over top of it or something like that. But those three items together are all at one place. And I don't know if somebody knows a contractor who does all that stuff or not.
I was just thinking, I've got a guy that does just primarily siding and guttering. But I'm thinking, I referred a few folks before. I had somebody off of TaskRabbit that was a pretty good carpenter. He helped me do some repairs. And so I'm sure he could take care of your steps or whatever in the on the porch and things. And probably that if you just got a few shingles that need to go back up, because that's usually the best thing on asbestos. If you can keep the shingles in place, put them back up,
Yeah.
and
Minimal stuff. Yeah.
keep them painted. They're secured, because once you start tearing them off is where you run into the problems with it releasing asbestos fibers. Let me see if I can pull him up again. Let's see.
Yeah, I think you said something about a concrete guy a couple of weeks ago, but I don't remember that information.
You know, I don't think I had one. Yeah, I know we talked about somebody had some referrals. Let me search for. There he is. His name was Ryan. He was pretty good. He had a pretty good set of tools and stuff when he showed up on time. In fact, I think he stopped in a day or so ahead of time to scope it out. I told him I was going to buy all the materials and I work with him, but he was good. His name was Ryan. His last and just initial was S. I just got him in here. I forgot what his last name was. Anyway, his mobile number is 314-536-6242. So that's Ryan at 314-536-6242. And
Okay, thanks.
I call him back if I had some exterior repairs. He said a porch or a deck repair or something like that. Okay. Oh, there we go. Melody wrote it down. Yeah, somebody referred let me go back to let me expand my view here. I didn't get my full screen so I can see the chat. Yeah, Melody put a concrete contractor in there. Oh, back from January call. Oh, great. She keeps good notes. Thank you, Melody. I'd have to find my page that I wrote my notes on for that day. But yeah, good. Okay. So anybody else got anything? What's anybody working on? Just staying in? Staying out of the snow. We had some snow flurries out here in St. Charles County, but not that they're going to amount to anything. They're just making wet drops when they hit anything on the ground. It was like 39 degrees the last time I looked out.
Yeah, we had them in South County too, and I was like, oh my God, snow?
Well,
Really?
yeah, here, yeah, we're in the barely a week into April, and we're still getting snow.
Yeah, we have it in Chesterfield too.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah.
No.
I guess for what it's worth too, you don't have to send off your taxes if you wait till the last second, till the 18th. Because Washington, D.C. in their wisdom, I guess it was already on that date on the 15th, has a national holiday. So now if it hits the weekend, you get 3 extra days to send off your taxes. So we've got like 10 days for taxes for the late people who are working on that stuff.
Hope you're not one of those though, Bruce, are you? You're not a procrastinator, so you probably got yours ready. I've got mine. This is 1 year. I've got mine off already. got them out. In fact, I even mailed in my estimate because my estimate for the first quarter of this year was due on the 18th also. So I just sent that off earlier this week. Got my taxes off last week and got my returns off there. And I got that off my agenda. I got enough other things cooking in the pot here that I don't need to be worrying about that. But I hope the snow doesn't, the cold weather is, I sprinkled some grass seed down back in March, right in the middle of March. And I finally saw some things starting to sprout up through the soil. It was just a bare spot where it had a tree taken down a couple of years ago and was finally starting to had settled in. I leveled out the dirt and over the top, got some grass going there, and it kept getting colder and colder, and never had enough warm days back to back for it to sprout. It was finally getting, about a half an inch thick. It was the day before yesterday I was by there. Now I got snow flurries again, so hopefully it'll hold up and keep going. So what's everybody else got going? Not much. Dave Soto, you got any snow down there in southeast Missouri, Cape Girardeau?
No snow, just cold.
Just cold. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, for that, yeah. For April, it's way too cold.
Yep.
Cold for me anyway. Well, I don't have much else other than want to let everybody know about, hope everybody's that's able can get registered for our April 19th and show up for our meal and get on the first 20 that come are going to get the book, but don't depend on being the first 20 in the door. So you can go ahead and order on Amazon. John's got a link on our website too, along with the emails you've been getting too. Have a link. The one I saw this morning, Diana sent out, had a link to the Amazon for getting a copy of his book. Read it ahead of time. We can ask him a lot more intelligent questions when he up on the 19th, and get a lot more out of his Saturday seminar on the 23rd. So the 23rd is all day. It's only $39. Basically, we have to charge to cover the cost of our meal because we're furnishing a box lunch on that day and renting the extra room. So that's just going to cover the cost of that facility and our expenses for the box lunch. So we do need to definitely have a reservation for that. So if you know,
Lloyd,
yes, go ahead.
I just have a question. Are you going to get back to having the Friday lunches anytime soon?
Well, we've got a few people who've been asking about that. In fact, I think there's one of our members keeps going over. Is still going to Applebee's on Fridays. Hoping that somebody else will show up because he keeps coming to our Tuesday meeting and say, "Hey, when are you going to come to when are we going to start back up again?" Yeah, I'd probably be up for it. I've been my wife and I haven't been going out too much, but we're starting to get out and go to restaurants again.
Well, right now, one reason we haven't done it is because Kathy Davis is our featured guest on the first Friday of the month, and that's when we used to meet at Applebee's. So we were looking at a couple of things, but I don't know. We'll have to. We're trying to work on it, so we'll see. Getting back would be great, though. To answer your question, we are thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about it in several of our board meetings and just haven't come up. But yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, because Kathy's made a commitment for the first Friday of the month. She'll come on to this call. So if anything, as long as she's willing to do that, maybe if you want to get back together, maybe we'll pick the second Friday to have our lunches. And but we still have this going on. So I don't know. We'd have to split up. Either have John will do a good job at moderating these Zoom things. I wouldn't mind getting out and having lunch on one Friday a month. So I'm sure we got enough other folks that we could at least fill up a table. Yeah, any other questions about how our things are going? Yeah, we're hoping to get back normal. We're hoping to break through this, having our low attendance on our live live attendees, or in-person attendees on our third Tuesday meetings. And hoping this, having the dinner this month will get people out and realize, hey, yeah, okay, it's realize how great it is to be back together in person and networking and getting to see everybody live and in person. So, and hopefully we'll get through that, get over the sump, and then back in May and following on through the summer here, we'll get back, probably not to what our attendance was. We used to have 75 to 100 people every month. And when we had our dinners, I remember in 2018, we had one of our records since I've been on the board of 169 people, almost 170 people show up on one of our, it's either the spring or the fall ones where we had a dinner and a national speaker show up. I'd love to get back to those days, because we got the room now that we got a larger room at the Shriners than we had before. So we won't be having to set up extra chairs along the wall and being afraid of violating a fire code. We got room for 170 people in this room, so no problem at all. Where we were pushing it. I think that room only, probably only sat 150, but we squeezed 170 in there one time. So no problem at where we are now. Lots of room to grow and get back to where we were. I'm hoping that'll happen over the next several months. But we shall see. They say, hope everybody here shows up on April 19th and try to get back to some normalcy. That'll be a good start to do it. And then we see what people are willing to do that. And we'll start back up the lunches on once a month, one Friday a month. Any other suggestions? Hey, we're open for suggestions too.
Lloyd, I just have a question.
Sure.
I went on to RSVP for the dinner for the next meeting,
Right.
and it seemed like I signed up for Zoom instead. So I don't know, is there a place to really RSVP that you're going to be there in person?
Laura fixed it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, check and see, but she just told me she
Yeah.
fixed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a couple of technical difficulties, I know, with some of the stuff, because there's too many things that get confusing with the Zoom, between the Zoom and the live. So that's just that's stuff we're kind of working on. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up to our attention. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I noticed the email Diana sent out yesterday. She thought she had it all set up with, click here for Zoom, click here with 2 boxes at the bottom, click here if you're coming in person, but they didn't show up. But she fixed that. The one that came out this morning, though, had that. If you check in your email, that she finally got that. It's a lot of details go into setting up the emails and everything. And we appreciate having great board members that are willing to work on it and work through it to get through the changing times here.
Yeah, and it seems that as long as you have the Zoom, a lot of people will just rather stay home in their living room and watch rather than get out.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of the problem. Yeah, we don't want to turn people off by cutting off Zoom, but then
Right.
we'd like to have them back. So it's kind of
Yeah.
or we're gonna, if we cut off the Zoom completely, are we gonna lose some folks? They're gonna say, oh, it's been nice, but maybe it's not.
They still don't feel safe going out. Yeah, I get it.
I know. My wife is one of them, so
Mhm.
we've been super careful here.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, we
Lloyd, I
were-
put in the chat something about, again, since that 18th is a day before our meeting, so we can't really tell people about it then, but if you are 65 or older and living in Missouri, apparently there's a property tax credit that you can get up to $1,100 if you're an owner and you pay real estate taxes on your house, or up to $750. They'd have to go online and Google the Missouri property tax credit thing, and there's a few ins and outs like a labyrinth to get through, but you have to pull up a form and fill it out. But it has to be filled out and sent in by the 18th if you want to get that rebate. on your taxes.
Okay,
If
okay.
you know somebody that fits into that category.
Know
you can use-
somebody, or we got some renters that are struggling that, yeah, even to qualify
Right.
as renters. I did hear something about that. So it's good to know.
Yeah, so even owning or renting, you can get it out as long as the place where you're renting pays real estate taxes. I guess some places don't, but
Okay, no, I've got real estate tax bills on all my rental houses and condos too. I don't think anybody in the state of Missouri can slip by without that, at least in St. Charles County, not. No.
Well, we manage a couple of properties owned by churches, so they don't pay taxes. I don't even know,
Oh,
take
okay.
that back. They probably pay, I don't know if they pay property tax right now. I know they don't pay sales tax, so.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't think nonprofits like, yeah, churches and in some places, they don't pay real estate tax either. That's why I get a little ticked off when Lindenwood College purchases more property. They keep expanding right in the center of St. Charles. They keep, grabbing more land. Eventually, they'll probably buy one of my rental houses, I'm hoping, because it's right across the street from there where they're going to put their athletic field. But because Lindenwood College was originally founded in 1820 something as a land grant college, they are tax exempt. Even though they're a big university now and everything, they're keeping that entity protection. So any property, when they buy a property to expand their land hold around St. Charles, they're taken away from the tax base, their real estate tax base. So that's one of my peeves about Lindenwood. Great university. In fact, I had one of their assistant coaches, football coaches, as one of my tenants for a couple of years. So worked out really well since it was right across the street from his work. He just walked across the street and up the hill to go to work. But, and I'm hoping in the future, maybe rent to some students too. But anyway. Okay, well, nobody else has anything. We can be a short day here today. Glad you all could come and hope you got something out of it. Appreciate you contributing, Melody and Bruce and Jean.
Something in the chat here. He's looking for someone to scrap and paint, probably scrape and paint though, the
Scrape and paint.
gable on a 2-family flag.
Flat probably, yeah, 2-family flat.
Flat, probably, yeah. Okay.
Painting, exterior painting. I don't know. Anybody got a good exterior painter? My guy is winding down. He's got enough clients. In fact, I have trouble. You used to be. I usually gave him a couple of weeks worth of work every year, and he actually has trouble squeezing me in now because he lives out in Warrenton or Wright City, and he's got some connections now with what's the big lake community out there in Warrenton somewhere. He started doing some business with somebody, and then just word of mouth got over. Now he can work all summer and winter out there at one of the lake communities in Incline Village. Incline Village, is that one of them? Anyways, one of the lake communities out there around Warrenton. So I don't think he's going to go into the city, North City. He says North. He's not going to drive that far to paint a house anymore. So anybody got any properties in North City that or have a painter that would do some exterior work in North City? Willing to pass along a name to Arthur? You might just check TaskRabbit. Like I said, I located that one carpenter through taskrabbit.com. And I just told him what I needed. And he said, yeah, he gets a lot of contacts, first-time contacts, but then once people know him and know he does a good job, they'll just call him directly. And like I said, I've been given referrals directly, so you don't have to go, because they when you use TaskRabbit, they get a cut of their what the job, I don't know what percentage it is. They take a percentage of it. So I'm sure he prefers just calling him directly and do that. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got Alex Wheatley. Gave a reference there for a painter, J. Rao, R-A-U, painter at 314-460-9604. He painted 2 exteriors for Alex. Okay, thank you, Alex, for that referral. Okay, yeah, and Bruce also put the tax credit form. If you're interested or know somebody that would qualify for that tax credit, it's over 65. MO-PTS is the form. Okay, yeah, thank you, Bruce, for that. All righty, anybody else?
Well, I've got a question. I'm curious, has anybody had experience with the LRA, the Land Reutilization Authority?
LRA, I have not. I'm familiar with them. I know what the initial stands for, LRA. Oh, Amber's got her hand up. You got, unmute yourself, Amber? Or that was that. Whoops, she took her hand down.
I did. What specifically are your questions?
Well, just curious because I've just learned about it and I wanted to hear people's thoughts.
It was pretty simple. So I ended up I own a single property in Central West End, and right behind me, they had taken a house down, demoed it. And so I bought the vacant lot right behind my house. It was simple. And actually I worked with my alderman because so when you go on their website, they have a list of the price based on if it's a vacant lot or if there's a house on there, the price is different. And so I worked it with my alderman basically to say it's considered a side lot because if it's next to you and basically you'll take care of it, it's a little cheaper. So in the city though, it was separated by an alley, but we worked together to basically say it is a side lot. And so it came down considerable, a large number on the price, and I bought it. It was a pretty quick process. And I was out of town when it happened. You submit your bid, basically. They take it to the board for authorization and approval, and you get approved, and then you basically own the property.
And do you go through a close like you would when you purchase a property, or they handle everything and kind of deed it over to you?
They handle it all. And I'm putting it in air quotes, but yeah, you have a closing with them, with LRA. I went into the office and I signed the paperwork.
Okay, and do they have an online database that they maintain of the properties that are?
Yes.
They do, okay.
Yes, absolutely. I can probably look it up and find it, but yeah, you go on there and you can find the properties, and they're based on that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But when you're on their website, like I said, there is a price for if it's a vacant lot, a suggested price. And if there's a house on there, if you're trying to buy the house, a suggested price per square foot, I think it is. But, they were very reasonable because they don't want to own these properties. They really would like somebody to take them over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially like yourself, you already owned a property in the neighborhood, adjoining property. Those are the kind of things they like to do. That's why they're encouraging putting a lower price on an adjacent lot.
Mm-hmm.
Want to see they don't want to have to keep maintaining the weeds.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. They don't.
They'd much rather have you cut the grass and cut the weeds down, keep the weeds mowed, and just give you a notice if the weeds get too high.
Well, they tried that. So I put a garden on the lot, and they were trying to bill me, like when I first bought it, to say they had their people come and cut the yard. And I said, absolutely not. Here's pictures. I have a garden on the lot. There's no way your people came, and I live right behind it. So they quickly took that.
They took that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got subcontractors probably. They were trying to milk it for all they were worth. Turning extra building to the city. What do they know? They'll just continue to pay it.
Yep.
Yep.
And the city tried to pass it off to me, and no.
Try to pass them off to you. So good. Glad you got that fixed.
Yeah, we've met someone who purchased a house through the LRA, and we walked through it. It's in a rougher area of town now, but at one point it must have been a really nice area of town. The inside of this house was just gorgeous, though. Beautiful old woodwork, very ornate. It's really a shame that this section of the neighborhood went down the way that it did, because you could tell it was a beautiful home. And they of course got it for really cheap, and they're working on kind of gutting it and getting it back to life. But I was just curious because it's something entirely new to me. I'd not seen something like this before.
Yeah, and you can also, so that is the benefit of a lot of the LRA properties, because I had done a lot of research because I was going to buy a property instead of the vacant lot. But a lot of the time people will, for instance, let's just say your friends, they walk away from the property for one reason or another. They just are tired. A lot of those properties, people have done that, just walked away. So you could buy the property that is halfway done. They've left the paint in there, they've left drywall, and they just walked away. So depending on the property, you really could get a great deal.
Yeah, good information.
People just starting to get behind on their taxes that are not to the tax sale. And a lot of those people walk away from their properties. I just sent off 10 letters in the last couple of days for properties we looked at. And I'll probably get 1 or 2 out of that. I mean, it's narrowed down, very much narrowed down. It's not just a postcard going to everybody, but that's a good way to do it before the city and before the counties get their hands on it. Because once they do, you've got to follow their rules. But if you get it from the people, you'll be responsible still for like the back taxes and that kind of thing. But that's just a great way to get properties for free. I got 9 houses from one time for free, all from one guy. Just gave them to me. Now I took 7 of them, but that's just a little thing you might want to look for with your research, Amber. You probably can run into those people before the city gets a hold or the county gets a hold of them. So that's just a little tidbit of stuff that I do that's doesn't cost a thing to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, some of the best properties we've ever bought were people who were back on their taxes, or they were being forced to sell because of the IRS back taxes. Sorry, go ahead, Amber.
No. I was just going to say, I believe the LRA website, you have to be behind 5 years to make it to their website. So, and in addition to that, the city does own it at that time. So just a little bit different than what John is saying to get to the people before they make it to the website.
Yeah, that's the process. After 5 years, which is the 3rd year tax sale in the state of Missouri, that's how it works. Because the first, they don't do the way the tax sales work in Missouri. You come up to the 1st year tax sale when you're 3 years behind in taxes. Okay, that's what Missouri's kind of a mixed state with certificates and liens, because if you buy anything on the first, second, or third, or first or second year tax sale, that's only 3 or 4 years behind in taxes. You only get a lien on the property. Okay. But once it gets to the 3rd year, which is 5 years of back taxes, then if nobody buys it at the tax sale, then the city or the county, depending on the jurisdiction, will take it over. That's when you can buy it over the counter, which is basically what this program is. The LRA program is. It's over the counter after they've already taken it over. And that's when you can negotiate. And a lot of the counties, I'm amazed what they will do. Because there's so many properties like this throughout the state of Missouri. There's 115 jurisdictions, which are counties or whatever, incorporated areas. And they're not in the real estate business, but they're one of the biggest sellers of real estate. They're in the money business, period. They want to be able to have the money to fix the sidewalks and to send people out to cut your grass and all the stuff that they do with the money. But if they don't have the money, there's nothing they could do. So people that if you look for people, one of the things I found over the years, they'll look for people before the government entities take over. And that's just a really good way to work with people. Now, sometimes it's not worth it because there is more due diligence. If you get into somebody that has a homeowners association or a POA, a property owner association, there could be, and a lot of times there are many back fees that they require you to pay. I've also met with many associations and most of them will waive it. If you just go in there and you talk to them and just say, look, I can't do anything for what the other guy did that wasn't paying, but what I can do is I can come in here now and improve it. Once you deal with like certain situations, I know the city of St. Louis, I've never really dealt with. I've owned a lot of properties there, but they will have certain requirements that they'll have, like you have to have money, showing you have money in bank and all that kind of stuff. Most of the counties though, with the exception of St. Louis County, because they're different, in Kansas City, I think is a little different, but most of the other counties, they'll let you just buy the stuff and you can do what you want. You don't have to prove anything. And that's how I've gotten a lot of properties over the years. So that's just something you may want to check into. That doesn't cost nothing. It just takes a little research.
John, can I ask you a question? We had a property, this gentleman bought it 9 years ago to rehab. And then for some reason, he didn't follow through with it. So it's been vacant all those 9 years. He didn't pay taxes on it ever. So now with all the, I guess, the penalties and that, it's up to, I don't know, 40,000. And to go in there and rehab the property, he said, if you can manage this and just take me off and you can have the property. So I called the county to see if I could just pay the back taxes without the penalties. And they told me no. And it's going up for auction probably for the third time because it's been 9 years. And it never has sold because they keep tacking on all those penalties. And the house as is not worth all those penalties. So is there anything you can do or say to the county to have them reconsider?
Is this St. Louis County?
Yes, it's Clayton.
No.
Okay.
The answer is
All
no. I talked to them back in 2006 and 7 when they only had 700 properties that you could buy over the counter. They would not negotiate or do anything. Back then you could, that now they have another sale that comes up where you can do it after the fact, I think in December or whatever. But no, the county now, last time I looked, they had 2,800 properties on their books that they're cutting the grass for and doing all this stuff. No, they're not worth dealing with. That's why I've gone to other counties. Because there's 115 counties in Missouri. There's way better people to deal with. And I shouldn't say better, but more reasonable people is really what it boils down to. But yeah, St. Louis County, that I only deal pretty much with people in St. Louis County, homeowners. If you catch the guy before he gets to the third year tax sale, which is 5 years back taxes, you can do all kinds of stuff. Now you can take that a step further. What I did, I was just talking about getting those 9 houses for free that I got from that multi-million-dollar investor because he was tired of the stuff and didn't know the neighborhoods. What I did on them, see, I learned a lot. I used to pay everything. Okay. And then I would just out of my pocket. Most of the time, what I do now is I put the stuff up for sale. I just control the property and let somebody else do it. Kind of like Kevin Chartel is going to tell us about working with the notes. You want to control the deal. That's where all the money is. You use your, you make your money with your brain and not with your hands most of the time. And that's really what it boils down to. So the people, St. Louis County is it's just a weird place because it's a government entity and, it's, I don't know. It's like when you call even some of the other counties, the best thing to do is pick up the phone and call them. Now you may get a different answer 3 times in a row, 3 days in a row. I've had that happen. I've had them tell me, no, we will not sell over the counter after the tax sales. Call back again. They'll tell you the same thing. Call the third time. They'll say, yeah, you need to talk to Beverly or whoever it is. And that's the trustee. That's what you got to do is find out what it is because, I don't want to say that well, let's just put it this way. A lot of times they're there and they leave at 4 o'clock regardless of what happens. And if you catch them during lunch, I'm serious, you catch them during lunch or whatever, that's just the way it is. Now, also the best time to call any of the government agencies, now don't only do this, but is Thursday afternoon after lunch. Okay, that is the very best time, not too late on Thursday, but right after lunch, everybody's in a good mood. They're planning their weekend. They're planning their Fridays. They're getting all their work out of the way. I know you laugh and I used to laugh too, but that's exactly the best time.
Mute.
So.
Thank you so much.
Sure. I wish I had better news on St. Louis County, but I just don't know. I'm just going by my experience. You might have a different experience with them and I hope you do. And then you can tell us. So.
Yeah, but I mean, to tack on to John, just like I said, I don't know if they have aldermen or, whoever runs that city, contact them directly. You just never know what if they find out what you're trying to do, they may be able to work with you and, kind of, I guess, cut the red tape, if you will, a little bit. You never know.
Yeah. A lot of it is who you know, not what you know too. When it comes to dealing with government affairs and government situations, if you know somebody that knows somebody on the inside, that could be a big help. Could be a big help. And I agree with John. Yeah, you got to call back when you're dealing with government. You got to call back different times. Just keep calling back until you get an answer that you want, the right answer. Because you're just dealing with government employees. So, and I don't want to stereotype government employees, but it's a lot of cases it's true. Yeah, they're just putting in their time. They're not as motivated to buy and sell as you and I are. So, okay, let's see. We got Carmen. Does anyone have a lender they can recommend for rental only loans? Well, we got on our website, we got JR Real Estate Capital, or JM Real Estate Capital. In fact, he's at they have representative at each of our meetings the last since we've been back live again. They're coming to all of our meetings on the third Tuesday. But you can their contact information is on our website at STLREIA.com. Down the right hand side, we'll see sponsors, or just click on vendors at the top of our website. I'll give you a list of all the vendors.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they're a nationwide lender. And let's see, was it last month or 2 months ago? He said we had Guild Mortgage make a presentation, and they're I think Beth Coleman, Kullmann, was our presenter, and she's done several loans, I know, for the Heisers, one of our members and past president. So they're a good local. And any other lenders, John? Let's see.
Well, RE Capital, you could call them. They're pretty good on that. The one vendor we have. Did you mention that? I'm sorry, I was just getting an email.
Okay.
Voicemail. I just got a free property. One I was just telling you about. A guy just called right now saying he'll give it to me if I got a fax number or an email. He'll send me over all the paperwork today.
Okay.
So there's a free house for dealing with people before they got to the tax sale. This is somebody that's not there until next August.
Oh, wow.
There you go. Okay.
We looked at 5 properties. 1 was commercial, 4 was residential. And then I re-looked up some more since then, but we went and looked at them last week when we were doing something else that made my whole trip tax deductible for something we were going to do anyway.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I mentioned that JM Capital too. Okay. Now let's see. Charles put something in. There's another lender, Lakeview Investment Strategies.com in the chat. Charles put something. I'm assuming they're a lender I might check with for rental loans. Yep. Carmen, if you want to get that out of the copy and paste that out of the chat, you can get. That's another referral there for financing. Yeah, that's the nice thing about real estate. There's always a lot of people, a lot of folks wanting to make that don't want to deal with the associated with landlording and rentals, but they're really glad to lend you the money so you can do it yourself. So that a lot of opportunities. So you can definitely shop for real estate loans. Let's see. Kanita has got this. John, are you referring to using tax liens to purchase properties?
Okay, I don't use liens because liens is giving you interest only. In the state of Missouri, it's like, I think it's 9% or something like that. I'm not interested in interest.
Yeah.
When I take a property, I want to make at least 10 times on my money. That's pretty much my model. And it's usually way more than that. Certificates, you actually own the property if you go that route. And I don't go to tax sales. I just buy them over the counter, or I'll deal with people. That's how I personally do it. Tax liens is a good way to do it. There's a lot of people that do that. I know in Texas, it's like 25%. And then after 6 months, they'll pay you 50%. That's if and when they redeem the property. The problem with dealing with a lot of the things that I found is people don't always redeem the property, and it's not always a great deal. So you may or may not get your money back. That's just, I'm very stingy with my money. You know, I want it to work for me. So that's just how I do it.
Mhm.
I hope that answers.
Yeah, and I dealt with tax liens in the state of Illinois for a while because they had a lot better interest rate offerings than the state of Missouri. And so I did some research, went around to about 5 different counties that were in an easy drive of St. Louis. And what I found there, this is it's been a few years back. I won't say how long. You realize how old I am. But that was big business if there was a lot of inventory in these counties. Some counties there wasn't that much, and there was just a few people standing around a desk over in Calhoun County, and there weren't that great deals. The ones that had a lot of inventory, there were investment companies out of Chicago, had their down there, and they were bidding against each other. Or no, it's one case they weren't bidding against each other. They had their own little syndicate agreement. They're probably had met for breakfast. All the investment company guys that were going to the auction met for breakfast ahead of time. And there was one ringleader who was determining who they were going to take them in the order. You know, I'll take this one, you take the next one, you take the third one, then it's back to me. And then they were just going round robin. And then anyone that I bid on, they would just bid her up, and then one of them would bite the dust for that. They would take the loss because it wasn't getting, you bid interest rate down. But basically in Illinois, you bid I forget what it started like at 18%, and then you bid it down to like 5 or 6% or whatever until somebody says, oh, well, okay. And everybody else drops out. I'm willing to take 6%, and they drop out, which I was, when you're doing those, you want to get the highest percentage interest. And I said, well, it wasn't worth it to keep bidding on them. So I got one property while they were chatting amongst themselves, and they were starting to flipping over a page or something. I threw in a bid, and I got one, unbeknownst, I think, to the ringleader of the thing. But anyway, that was the worst case one, where there were so many investment companies there, and they were colluding with each other, and it was very out in the open too. It was like none of the people in the county government didn't even care. So I did that one year. I did a lot of research and did it for 1 year. Went around robin to all the nearby counties in Illinois and decided, yeah, this wasn't worth. I did that I think I got one other property, a couple of properties that I did get. They paid my expenses because they did end up. There was a house on the property, and somebody realized that it inherited it, realized the taxes hadn't been paid, so they got caught up. Got them caught up and paid for, and it paid for my expenses, but it was an experience. I put it was an experience. So I learned from that I'm not going to deal with tax lien deeds in the state of Illinois. I have gone to a couple in Missouri, or in St. Charles County is the only ones I've gone to here in Missouri. And I did, again, there's so many people there. Inside St. Charles County, everybody loves St. Charles County, and there's just so many people there bidding on them just to get interest rate, and along with the investment companies that are there too. That I think I only got one. I think they started in alphabetical order, and I threw a bid out. I haven't even been by the property. That started with an A. That the owner's name, or the delinquent tax owner's name, was in the A's. I just threw out a bid, and before anybody else was getting organized, they said sold. So I got one. After that, everybody woke up and realized, oh, hey, okay, we got to get in a bid on this. And then the investment company got a hold of it, and So, and I got paid. Yeah, I got some reasonable interest, and it was like a year or two later that the guy finally got caught up on his tax. I drove by it. After the fact, I drove by it, and it was a little house. I think it was like a two bedroom, 1 bath house. And I wasn't too impressed that I didn't want to deal with the owner directly, probably because the grass was kind of mowed. It wasn't mowed very well. And there was a Harley Davidson motorcycle parked by the front door on the sidewalk. And said, okay, good thing I'll deal with this, the folks down at the county courthouse on that one. I don't want to go up and knock on his door. I have to tell him that he's going to have to leave because I own the house. But so I didn't have to own the house there. Just collected some interest rates when he finally got caught up. So that's about the extent of my stories on tax liens and tax sales from my experience. But I know there are some good deals. I know the city of St. Louis probably with the LRA, they got so many, and I know the city is more. I've heard from a lot of people the same thing about St. Louis County that John was talking about, that they're not nearly as amenable to getting somebody to take over their properties. They own a lot of vacant properties that are not producing taxes, and they're not doing too much to resolve their situation. But the city of St. Louis is more willing to work with you. So as Amber said, so hope you all have a good experience with that. Okay. Anybody else got anything for us today? If not, going once, going twice. Hope to see y'all here next week. We got one more week on the 15th. Oh, it's Good Friday. That's right. Next week is Good Friday. We'll be back here, and then we'll see you hope to see everybody on Tuesday the 19th. So if you haven't already registered, get on our website, STLREIA.com, register for that. And if you want to continue really learn in depth for only $39, you can spend a whole day with Kevin Shortell. He's a great educator. I spent 2 days, better part of two days on weekends when I went to two weekend seminars that talked about notes, and he was far and away the best speaker. In fact, the other guys, I couldn't even tell you what their name were now. It's been like 10 years ago. But when I heard that we could get Kevin Shortell that the board was working on, I said, yes, I do remember Kevin. He was great. He was the go-to guy. Delivered a lot of real good information in his presentations, and I'm pleased that we can get him back to talk with us. So we'll hope to see you then. If not, we'll see you next Friday for sure. Take care, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Hey, you too. Take care.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.